Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the Borla S-Type catback exhaust with polished tips, fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT fastbacks without the factory active exhaust. If you're on the hunt for a high quality exhaust system that produces a great sound without a ton of volume for your S650 GT, Borla's got you covered here. This is going to appeal to you if you want your car to make some more noise, but you aren't willing to sacrifice your eardrums or give an inch on quality. On our loudness meter, this one's gonna get a 3 out of 5. So if you're looking for outright volume, this probably isn't your system. However, it's still gonna give you that deep V8 rumble, but it won't be as obtrusive as other systems, making it a great choice for a daily driver. If you're not familiar with Borla's lineup, they offer different systems that vary in the type and volume of sound. What we have here today is the middle child, or the S-Type. As you heard from the clips, this sounds pretty darn good without being too obnoxious. It still gives you that characteristic Coyote V8 sound. It's deep, it has a nice little bit of raspiness at the top end, you even get some pops and burbles there on the overrun occasionally. And it really wakes these cars up a lot, gives them an injection of character that they probably should have had from the factory. It's also not going to get people shaking their fists at you as you drive by. Now inside of the cabin, you'll also of course get some additional volume as well, but much like it is on the outside, not going to be too bad. Definitely noticeable, so you get that nice kind of low hum as you drive along, but the volume won't be so much that you can't hold a conversation or listen to music. Really, it's a good balance that's going to allow you to enjoy your exhaust without feeling overwhelmed by it. And that's because Borla bakes in quite a few things that make sure that their exhausts have no drone at any speed, in any gear, or any RPM. And that is not an overstatement either. There is really no drone with this system. A big part of that is thanks to their unique polyphonic harmonizing technology. So this is essentially the same type of science that goes into tuning pipe organs or wind instruments. So they use different types of pipe to control different frequencies while still maintaining volume, but eliminating those obtrusive or dissonant sounds. Now in this system, they're inside these little canister type resonator looking things right before the mufflers. You won't be able to see them on the camera, but there's a couple different smaller pipes inside. They have different patterns and perforations in these little types of pipes inside these small canisters here. It's going to make those frequencies harmonize without giving you those obtrusive sounds. So that means you're not going to get that annoying droning noise when you're cruising along like you might with a less expensive or a less well-made system. Now the mufflers here too do have some more baffling in them than say the Borla Attack system. And given that plus their size, you're going to have some resonance here, but as the theme goes, it's not over the top. Another trick that Borla bakes in here is the included X-Pipe, which is always a nice inclusion. This is also going to help combat drone by allowing exhaust gas pulses to cross over, which is again going to help eliminate unpleasant frequencies. X-Pipes also have the benefit of increasing exhaust gas flow with that crossover, especially at higher RPMs. Now that can mean that you'll gain some power as well. The whole thing is going to flow better because it is a 3-inch catback as well. So this is going to be larger and less restrictive than your factory setup. So especially if you're planning to add other modifications in the future, this is going to help you get some more power out of the thing. Now finishing the whole system off are these big 4-inch slash cut polished tips. Now these are a bit larger than your factory tips, and they're going to give you just that little added something to tip off passersby and something that's different about your car. Though the real clue will be when you fire the thing up and they get to hear it. When it comes to construction, this is a really high quality system. As always, Borla makes all of their exhausts out of T304 stainless steel, so you're getting excellent corrosion and rust resistance here. As you can see, it's just a nice looking exhaust. Shame you won't see most of it once it's installed on the car. Again, that piping is all 3-inch diameter and it's mandrel bent tubing, so there's no wrinkles or weird creases in the metal, again allowing for smooth exhaust gas flow, meaning your engine will breathe better than it does with the stock system. And of course, you've got those 4-inch slash cut polished tips to finish the whole thing off. Plus, as always with Borla, the whole thing is made right here in the USA. As with any Borla or other exhaust system of this type of quality, it's not gonna come cheap. This one will run you about $2,000, which places it toward the upper end of the category. It's not quite as spendy as some others, but this is definitely a premium product and thus is going to command a premium price. Overall though, I think it represents a pretty good value for your money. You're getting a high quality system with solid construction and good features, plus an excellent sound. Coming in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, this is certainly a job that you can accomplish at home. You should budget about 2 hours to get everything wrapped up as well. Now this is going to be a bolt-on system, so it's going to utilize all your factory exhaust hanger locations and it won't require you to make any permanent modifications to the car itself. Plus it comes with all the clamps and even the adapters for the X-Pipe here that you'll need to get it fitted. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the install process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, an extension, a 15 and 13 millimeter swivel socket, exhaust hanger tool, a pry bar, and a hammer. All right, today we're gonna be putting an exhaust on our Mustang. First, we're gonna watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock one, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So the first thing we're gonna do is come to the double flange behind our cat. We have 4 15 millimeter bolts that we can loosen up with a 15 millimeter socket. Now we're gonna leave this just like that for now as we work on the rest. One thing to keep in mind is when we go to pull this off, this little hook is keeping this on, so you're gonna have to get a flathead screwdriver to pull back on that on both sides when we go to remove it. Next, we can come right behind our rear diff to this hanger. There's one on each side of this bracket. There's a 13 millimeter bolt holding it on. So I've got a 13 millimeter swivel socket on an extension to pop this off. And now we'll just come to the other side and do the same exact thing. And now with them both removed, you can push up to get those hangers off the hooks. And do that same thing on the other side. Now, last thing we need to do before we can remove this is remove these 2 bolts that were on the inside of those 2 hangers behind the rear diff. So I'm using that same 13 millimeter socket with an extension. Now with those removed, we can push it up off the hook and pull that down to get the clearance we need. So now I've got myself a buddy to support the weight of the rear of the exhaust while I work on the front. We're gonna push this towards the rear to disconnect these 2 pipes, and then we can pull it forward to pull it out of the back hangers. So now with our exhaust removed, we can take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop off these 2 hangers because we will have to reuse them for our new exhaust. Now, last thing we need to pop off is our 2 clamps that are at the front of the exhaust. You can take a rubber mallet and get the edge of a pry bar on the edge of the clamp to tap these off.
So we're gonna move on to our passenger axle pipe here. So you see I have 1 clamp already here. I'm gonna slide that into our X pipe, and we can grab one of our hangers that we took off and slide that on, and then hook it into place onto our subframe. And then now we can put our muffler on. So we got our 4 clamps in the front here that we're gonna tighten down. So we have everything is going to be a 15 millimeter socket. So we'll start with our 2 factory ones. Now you just want to make sure that the X pipe is level. And we can do our 2 aftermarket clamps here. So now we're going to get our muffler into position. So we'll get it into our hanger first. Just make sure you have the right one. The hanger will be on the inside. And then we can match it up with our around the axle pipe. We already have our clamp on there, as you can see. And now you go ahead and do the same thing with the other axle pipe and muffler. And we just need to come back to our muffler and tighten our last clamp, impact and 15 millimeter socket. Just go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so now I'm just lifting up on the back muffler here just to get everything adjusted into the right position. Then we can tighten our clamp here, the back of our X pipe. Do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna come back to our rear hangers. We're gonna get those bolts threaded in, along with our 2 bolts for our cover here. Get them started by hand first. Down position, get those started. We can grab our impact, extension, and 13mm socket and tighten all 4 of those down. And that wraps up our install of our Borla S-Type catback exhaust with polished tips for our 2024 and newer Mustang GT Fastback without active exhaust. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.